traveling between US and Canada.
Okay.
And the plane crashed between the border of US and Canada.
Okay.
As in at the border
Okay.
between US and Canada. So where will the survivor be buried?
At the border between US and Canada.
Yes, between US and Canada. Where will the survivors of the plane be buried?
Omo. Question heavy gan. If there is a cemetery close to the border, no need.
Oh, mumu no too much.
I mean, wetin you want me?
So if there is a cemetery close to the border, okay, there should in which of the country, US or Canada? Which was the country? Which one that the cemetery have to be located?
Omo. Hey. Probably US.
US. You feel US is good, huh?
You are a mumu man.
I'm with
Falake.
Okay, Falake. A plane traveling between US and Canada, and the plane crash at the border of between US and Canada, just the border. So where will the survivor buried?
Maybe it's water. Or in the air.
Emotional damn.
Wait.
Hillary.
Okay, Hillary. A plane traveling between the border of US and Canada, and it crashed at the border between US and Canada. Where will the survivor be buried?
There's no survivor now. No survivor.
Who said there's no survivor?
The plane has crashed already between border of US and Canada. How? No survivor now.
You are a mumu man.
John, beside it, John.
Okay, John. A plane traveling between US and Canada and crash at the border of US and Canada. Where will the survivor be buried?
Where is the plane coming from? US.
Is traveling at the border between US and Canada. The plane crashed just at the border between US and Canada. So which of the countries should the survivor be buried?
US.
US.
Yeah.
He should be buried in US.
Those that are US citizens on the plane should be buried in US. Those that are Canadians can bury it.
Okay, the survivor of US that is US citizen should be buried in US. The survivor of Canadian should be buried in Canada. Yeah?
In Canada, yeah.
That's your answer.
That's my answer.
Hey! Ayé mi tèmi bá mi.
Mifemi, a plane traveling between the border of US and Canada and eventually crash at the border between US and Canada. Where will the survivor of the plane be buried?
US.
Mẹ́rìndínlógún 16 years. Jésù.
I'm with
Ali.
Ali. A plane traveling between US and Canada and eventually crashed at the border of Canada. Where will the survivor of the plane be buried?
Survivors can be buried.
Why do you say so?
Because they are still alive.
I'm with
Amos Benjamin.
Okay. A plane traveling between the border between US and Canada and eventually crashed at the border of US and Canada, just the border, a plane. So where will the survivor of the plane be buried?
Come again with the question.
A plane traveling between US and Canada and crash at the border of US and Canada, just at the border. So where will the survivor of the plane be buried now? Since it's between two countries.
No idea.
You are a mumu man.
I'm with
I'm Gabriel.
Gabriel. A plane traveling between US and Canada and eventually it crashed at the border between US and Canada. So where will the survivor be buried?
Some of them be buried in US, some of them be buried in Canada.
Mumu na too much.
Habib.
Habib, a plane traveling between US and Canada and eventually crashed at the border of between US and Canada. So where will the survivor be buried?
Between US and Canada.
Yes.
And the plane is actually going to where?
It's traveling between US and Canada. Between is traveling. So it crashed at the border of Canada, US and Canada, just the borderline.
The borderline.
Yes, it crashed there between US and Canada. So where would the survivor be buried?
The survivor. No, they are not dead yet. Say they are the survivor, right? So they are not dead.
Success.
Okay, success. A plane traveling between US and Canada and eventually crash at the border between US and Canada. So where will the survivor be buried?
Okay, that's a funny one. Surely he'll be buried in his nationality where he come from. His body will be sent to his homeland, then he will be buried in his homeland.
You know there's something called mass burial, so eventually sometimes it happens like that, you can't identify the body. So where will the survivor be buried at this point?
At that case, then he can be buried wherever it seems necessary. Well, he can be buried in Canada, since he's coming from Canada. If he comes from US, yeah.
He's traveling between US and Canada and he crashed at the border between US and Canada.
They buried them in between US and Canada. Simple.
Tobiloba, a plane traveling between US and Canada and the crash between the border of US and Canada, where will the survivor be buried?
A plane traveling between USA and Canada and it's crashed. So where will the survivor be buried?
Yeah, it crashed at the border of US and Canada. Yeah. So where will the survivor be buried?
They don't need to be buried now because they are not dead.
Wait.
Mukhtar Karim.
Okay, a plane traveling between US and Canada and it crashed between the border, just the border between US and Canada at the border. So where will the survivor be buried?
I don't know.
You have no idea?
Yes, I have no idea.
So you don't know where they should be buried?
Yes.
I am Wunai too much.
A plane traveling between US and Canada and the plane eventually crashed at the border between US and Canada. Here's the border. So where should the survivor be buried?
Survivor.
Be buried. Where should they be buried?
Survivor. Canada don't want to bury Russia. Canada new na Canada.
I am Wunai too much.
I'm with
Burna Boy.
Burna Boy. Okay. A plane traveling between US and Canada and the plane eventually crashed between the border of US and Canada. So where should the survivor be buried?
Nice plane, Abi.
Yeah, the plane crashed at the border just between US and Canada. So where should the survivor be buried?
Na Canada now.
Why I am Wunai too much.
You prefer Canada?
Yes, na Canada. Na Canada get level pass USA now. Canada.
Canada get you level pass USA?
Yes. So I think na Canada get level pass USA. I be waiting if
it is smoke Igbo. It is take India.
I'm with?
I'm Abdubaki.
Okay. A plane traveling between the border of US and Canada and the plane eventually crashed at the border of US and Canada. Here's the border. So where should the survivor be buried?
Wait, I don't know about that.
I will tell the pastor about this. This is when you want to use your life. So, I'm going to do many dinogun.
I'm with?
Vivian.
Okay, Vivian. A plane traveling between US and Canada and it crashed at the border between US and Canada. Where should the survivor be buried?
I can't bury survivor.
Why can't they bury it?
Because he's alive now.